I don't think Hindi was ever the national language as what Mr. Ajay Devgn had mentioned. I think he got it wrong. Yeah, I've acted in a few Hindi movies as well as all the four southern languages. And earlier then, the discipline and the kind of work ethics which were present in the South film industry was lacking in the Hindi film industry. It's not a question about whether you're being on Sudeep's side or Ajay Devgan's side. It's a question of what you're standing up for. And definitely, when it comes to Kannada language, I think all of us are on the same page. Nobody would allow, even if it's a perceived slight or a, unintended slight, one would not take it lightly. I think Kannadigas are extremely proud of our language, and definitely when it comes to that part, yes, I would agree with whatever Sudeep has said.
Hello and welcome to HT's weekly talk show, The Interview. Sumalatha Ambareesh is the first independent woman member of parliament from the state of Karnataka. She represents Mandya, the constituency her husband Ambareesh represented in the Lok Sabha. Like him, she too is an actor turned politician. A well-known name in the film industry down south, Sumalatha has acted in over 200 films in Telugu, Malayalam, Kannada, Tamil and even Hindi. So who could be better than her to talk about the recent spat between Bollywood's Ajay Devgn and South's Kicha Sudeep on the Hindi language controversy? In this edition of HT's weekly talk show, The Interview, we speak to Sumalatha Ambareesh about the Hindi war and its politics. Welcome to the show, Sumalatha Ambareesh, and thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for pronouncing my name properly. Generally, my name is pronounced in many variants across the country.
Mostly it is Sumanlatha.
Yes, 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 that's true.
You have the advantage of being a film star and an MP. What do you make of the Hindi language controversy, both as an actor and a politician?
I don't see this as a controversy. I think it's just a misunderstanding of whatever has been said by Sudeep. And he definitely didn't mean it the way, the response it created, I think. But unfortunately, it did, and now it's been like, sensationalized everywhere.
But there are two sides of the story. On the one hand, actor Ajay Devgn says that Hindi is our national language. And on the other, we have Kannada actor Sudeep who says Hindi is no longer a national language. Who would you back?
I don't think Hindi was ever the national language as what Mr. Ajay Devgan had mentioned. I think he got it wrong. Hindi is one of the national languages. Even Kannada is a national language, and I mean all of whether it's Kannada, Tamil, Telugu, or Malayalam, these are all our national languages. So I don't think there's any one national language as far as our country is concerned, and it would not be possible also, to be sticking to one national language. So he got his facts wrong.
Then we have Ram Gopal Verma's statement saying that Bollywood actors are quote unquote insecure and jealous on the success of the southern counterparts. Do you think he has a point?
I wouldn't like to comment on this, but I do feel some, in connection with some people, probably, definitely, it's starting to pinch a bit the success of South films. But I don't think this applies to everybody. I'm sure there are a lot of people who welcome the Southern movies.
By using the word pinch, you're making it sound very mild. Let me quote what Manoj Vajpayee said that hits
Mhm.
like Pushpa and KGF have sent
Mm.
a shiver down the spine of filmmakers from Mumbai.
Yeah, that's his take. But I wouldn't like to sound so harsh because, we should not forget that due to COVID, a lot of big film productions have come to a halt, and we are awaiting a lot of movies which have been postponed. The release, something like Amir Khan's Lal Singh Chadda, and etc. Brahmastra or whatever. So once they are released and they also do well, and then the balance is back. One cannot say just because the releases are stalled that one industry is superior to the other as far as the market dominance goes. You should have a moderate view of whatever's happening.
Let's look at the figures. Bollywood jumps when it enters the 300 crore club. But in South, films talk in terms of 1100 crore RRR or 915 crore KGF. So South domination is very, very clear and
Yes.
visible.
Yes, it is true, and why not? Why should it not be? Because I think we've taken a long time to reach this space, and movie makers are enthused about reaching a much wider audience now. And today, KGF is rocking. I mean, we all are so proud, and we all are so happy. That Prashant Neel and Yash have put the Kannada film industry so firmly, on the Indian map.
But when you say that the balance will be maintained, the gap is so wide that it
Hmm.
seems a long haul for this so called balance to be maintained.
No, I wouldn't say that because we have seen, a lot of trends coming and going and then changing in movies. Now, I would say the South film industry has, come to stay. So it's like we are part of one large Indian movie industry rather than, Bollywood and versus the South. So we are all competing for the same space. So I don't see why there should be such a hue and cry about whatever's happening. We are competing for the same audience.
Yes, because you're competing for the same space and the same audience, that is why there is a hue and cry.
Which shouldn't be, because Hindi films have been released all over the country from day one, right? And they were welcomed. Nobody made an issue of it. At the same time, Telugu, Tamil, Malayalam, Kannada films also did well. It's a healthy competition. That's how I see it.
While you call it a healthy competition, Mr. Vajpayee says that there is a war-like situation between Bollywood and the southern film industry.
Really, I don't agree with that. Probably that's how he views it. I would say that is an exaggeration. Calling it a warlike situation is certainly an exaggeration.
Let me put it differently. Would you agree that Hindi films are struggling to find success now, while South is making films and, as Sudeep says, going everywhere? So, would you say that Bollywood now pales in comparison to Southern films? In one of your recent interviews, you did agree to this point.
I don't think so. I see the way films were made in South even earlier. See, I've acted in a few Hindi movies as well as all the four southern languages. And earlier then, the discipline and the kind of work ethics which were present in the South film industry was lacking in the Hindi film industry. Back then, when in the 80s and 90s, when I did those films. But right now, the work atmosphere and the work culture has definitely changed. Apparently, that's what I hear. A certain corporate kind of discipline has entered even the Mumbai film industry. But the kind of films sometimes which appeal, to a wider, like even in apart, if you take out the urban areas, if you go to the rural areas, I think they find the southern flavors more spicier.
You spoke of work ethics and you said Bombay, in one sense, was lacking it. So let me again quote Manoj Vajpayee, who said, South Indian filmmakers don't talk down to the audience.
So I don't really agree with that. Each filmmaker has his own sensibility, which he, tries to convey in his own way. So I would not like to put down any filmmaker or any language film that way.
You know, Karnataka Chief Minister Mr. Bommai and former Chief Minister Mr. Siddaramaiah are on Sudeep's side. Do you think it is right for them to jump in and give a political color to all of this?
I don't think anybody is jumping in here, Kumkum, because wherever you go, the media does present this question to you. So you have to answer it, and that doesn't mean you're trying to jump into this whatever controversy. And it's not a question about whether you're being on Sudeep's side or Ajay Devgan's side. It's a question of what you're standing up for, and definitely when it comes to Kannada language, I think all of us are on the same page. Nobody would allow, even if it's a perceived slight or a, unintended slight, one would not take it lightly. I think Kannadigas are extremely proud of our language, and definitely when it comes to that part, yes, I would agree with whatever Sudeep has said.
So, in that sense, looking at the Kannadiga's pride, do you think Ajay Devgan has now become kind of untouchable down south?
Oh, see, I wouldn't like to go that far, but definitely people are not pleased with what he has said.
What about the Congress saying that Ajay Devgan is acting like a BJP mouthpiece?
I would take whatever, these kind of political statements with a pinch of salt. I don't agree to all this.
Organizations in the South are protesting against Devgan, and they have said his statement is suggestive of Hindi feudalism. And Hindi speaking people have developed a feudalistic approach towards other languages. Talking broadly, do you agree with this?
Uh, a part of it, yes, because let me tell you, I have grown up in Mumbai. My earliest childhood memories start in Mumbai. So I can speak Hindi, I can speak Telugu, I can speak Kannada, I can speak Malayalam, Tamil, all these languages. When growing up in Mumbai, we did face a kind of, I think you must be aware of those times when, South Indians were being asked to leave Maharashtra or Mumbai. And we were called, as, grouped as a bunch and called Madrasis. And definitely, the feeling during those years, in my childhood years, I would say the early 70s or the late 60s, yes, this kind of a thing was present. And somewhere down the line, even today, there are cases, where a South Indian is working in the North. When you do face such kind of what you said, a perceived superior inferior kind of an attitude. And now today, when it's a global world, when there's social media, when there's much more awareness of whatever's happening in each corner of the world, people definitely do not take these things lying down. So if somebody has deliberately insulted a certain community or a certain language, then definitely there will be protests, and there will be uh, you know people objecting to that. My take in all this is, when Ajay Devgan and Sudeep have decided to end their tweet war or whatever, and they've done it very amicably and in a good way. So in the end, they said, yes, it was a misunderstanding, and there's nothing more to it.
In the end. But what about the
Yeah.
beginning?
Well, things are said in the heat of the moment, so I wouldn't take it too seriously.
Talking about Hindi as a language, we have Union Minister Amit Shah saying that people should use Hindi as an alternative to English. This comment has been criticized on grounds that it is a bid to impose Hindi imperialism.
Dharmendra Pradhan ji had come to Karnataka, and he clarified. He made a statement clarifying this issue that nobody is imposing Hindi, and this statement was entirely misinterpreted. That's what he said, and I don't think any kind of imposition will work anyways. Definitely not in the south. So uh, I think what he meant was we should also use Hindi as an alternative language, and that's his opinion. But I don't think there was any mention of Hindi being imposed as the medium.
But when you say alternative to the English language,
Mm.
then it is a kind of imposition, right?
I think what is a suggestion cannot be taken as an imposition.
I knew you would agree with the BJP because reports have it that you're soon going to join the BJP. That is, if you don't by the time viewers see this interview.
So, see, it doesn't matter if I'm joining a party or whether I'm joining a party or which party it's going to be. I do have my own opinions about this Kumkum. Uh, Even when my husband was in the Congress party, I had many views which were, not his party views necessarily, and I would state them openly.
Finally, what is the unfortunate fallout of this entire controversy?
See, when you're trying to create any kind of a divide, that's very unfortunate. Anything negative spreads very, very fast, especially in today's social media days. I hope, this doesn't continue in the future. I do hope people, you know, take this in a more sensible manner than whatever they are reacting right now.
What is your advice to Sudeep? Where was he right and where is he wrong?
I don't think I need to advise Sudeep on anything. He's quite sensible, he's very mature, and he's very intelligent. So I don't think I would advise him. And definitely, I don't think he said anything wrong at all. I think it was taken out of context, whatever he said.
Sumalatha Ambareesh, thank you very much. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for your time and thank you for taking most of the questions.
Thank you. Thank you so much.